DDO Players News is brought to you by the Easy Roller Dice Company. If you've been looking for some cool dice, especially those metal dice you've been hearing about, check out EasyRollerDice.com. From their gunmetal dice collection to the upcoming Rolls Gold collection, they have some amazing dice. And also right now, you can save some money on your order as well. Go to EasyRollerDice.com. Make sure to enter the code DDO at checkout and save 10%. That's EasyRollerDice.com. Enter the checkout code DDO, and you'll save 10% immediately. Hey everybody, it is DDO Players here, and we are privileged to be speaking with the two gentlemen from Twisted Brothers Studios. They are the mad geniuses, we'll say, behind the Dungeonland, or 12 Realms Dungeonland Kickstarter that is currently running. So welcome to the show, and I have Nick and Panos here today.
Hello, welcome. I am Panos.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nick.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time out today to speak to us about this game that's up on Kickstarter's 12 Realms Dungeonland. So we'll start out with kind of an easy question for you. Can you kind of give me the quick overview? What exactly is 12 Realms Dungeonland?
Yes. 12 Realms Dungeonland is a dungeon crawler. It's based on the 12 Realms universe, which is... It's an IP used by Mage Company. We have already released some games on that IP in the past. It's basically all the folklore and fairy tale characters and all the realms that all the classical tales like Snow White, Red Riding Hood, and all those tales happen. Mm-hmm. All these realms together comprise the 12 Realms universe, as we call it. So Dungeonland is set on that universe. It's set like on a very dark period of time for that universe where the realms are invaded by dark forces and all the tales start to turn dark. They take like horrific turns, creatures turn bad, the forests are corrupted and everything, and the heroes are trying to stop this menace and realize what's causing it, what's happening.
Okay, and can you kind of tell me what heroes you're going to be able to play to try to stop all the madness and darkness?
Yes, in the base game there are 6 heroes included. It's Snow White, Red Riding Hood, the Grumpy Dwarf, Prince Charming, Rapunzel, and the Wizard of Oz. These are the 6 in the base game. There will be more in the expansions, and there is also a conversion kit for people who own the old 12 Realms games, where they can use all the heroes from their old games to Dungeonland with this pack.
So what made you decide to do a dungeon crawler set in the 12 Realms universe?
It's basically we wanted to give like a more personal feel of the 12 Realms universe, a personal feel of the fights and everything. And on this dark period, there's like dungeons and dark towers that they have to venture, and like magical forests that have been corrupted and stuff. And we thought the dungeon crawler style of game suited that period that we wanted to like describe and everything. We are also big fans of dungeon crawlers, and we are big fans of D&D as well. So we wanted to make a game that's like that. We wanted to give players an arcade experience, like the old classic dungeon crawlers, where you like go through the rooms, slay the monsters, take the loot, like with the big badass bosses in the end and all that.
Right. Yeah. The cool parts of dungeon crawling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is that it works both ways, because we really wanted to make a dungeon crawler game, and we thought that the 12 Realms theme really suits
the mechanics.
Type of game, because it's basically a fantasy theme, but it's more fairy tale, with more fairy tale feeling on top of it.
Yeah. So basically what we were trying to make, like when the project started out and everything, we were trying to make a nice dungeon crawler game that we didn't want it to be like too complicated, but we wanted to have like a lot of depth. Yeah, we like choices. Okay. That's our main thing. We love when games give you choices. We love when you are faced with like a situation and you can always be like, I have this, or this option, and they're all viable options. We wanted to present like nice character development and all that, and we hope we have done a good enough job. We believe that people will tell us how much they like the game.
So, what sets 12 Realms Dungeonland kind of apart from the plethora of other dungeon crawling games out there? Is there like one certain thing that you think that makes this way different than the others? Or is it just the theme, or is it other things?
Yeah, the thing is that when we start working ideas on this game, our main goal it was not just to make a game that it will just be extremely different for every other game out there. But of course, there are many new and unique characteristics that makes it, yeah.
Yeah, features in the game. Basically, what we did is like we saw all other dungeon crawlers, like we saw like the different mechanics that they have implemented and all that stuff, and we took inspiration from them, but we took them like a level higher, or we made slight changes there. Like for example, this is too complicated. How can we streamline it? This is like that, and on top of that, we've added our own ideas. So basically, the unique features you could say they are that there are 3 modes in the base game. So basically, in one box, you get both a campaign dungeon crawler, you get the master quest, which is like a huge replayable campaign in a very short amount of time, and you also get the arena, which is PvP, and where players play like an arena game, fighting each other or fighting against hordes of enemies. So we introduced basically 3 different kind of games with the same gameplay in one box.
And I was going to ask you about the campaign system. Can you kind of explain how that works? I was reading about it on the Kickstarter, and it sounds pretty sweet the way you have it set up. So can you explain campaign mode a little bit?
Yeah, well, basically the campaign, how it goes, it's heavily story-driven. It has an overarching story, and there will be like lots of text here and there for the story and to get you in the feeling and everything. And how it works is basically you set out from a scenario, and during the different scenarios you will have to play for a campaign, there will be choices. For example, you might have to choose whether to leave someone behind or take them with you, whether to destroy an item or not, or to even kill someone or spare him, even though he is evil. These choices will affect your future missions and will affect how the campaign plays out and the whole overarching story and everything. And so the campaign can actually end in 4 different possible endings. That allows us that even if you go back and play the campaign again, things will be different. And there are even like surprises included where if you have like certain heroes in certain missions, some triggers might happen where they wouldn't happen if you didn't have those characters. So we tried to make it very personalized, very unique each time you play it through.
Yeah, and we also tried to make the replayability of the game really high, because if you manage to make the exact same options, if you play the campaign several times, you're still gonna see different things because the dungeons are randomly generated. So that also adds up to the replayability of the game.
Yeah, and basically it's a series of scenarios with progression in between. Heroes gain experience and everything, and they progress. There are also achievements. That's another thing that we don't see like in most games. We have added achievements in our game. So basically, when you finish a scenario, you will be rewarded based on how well you did some things. For example, how fast you finished the mission, how many enemies maybe you killed, or other stuff. So there's like achievements that boost your characters even further. And the campaign also features very heavy and hard boss fights. It's one of the cores of our games, because we have the AI that we have used for the game. It's pretty simple for the monsters, but it goes in depth when it comes to bosses, as the bosses actually use different patterns and they react to what the players do, and they can even like change on the spot the pattern that they use or the way they react to things, and that they can be really unpredictable.
So can you maybe tell us what some of the bosses you might be featuring are, or are you kind of keeping that under wraps?
No, I think we can say we have announced. We have some of the miniatures as well. So it's like the base game comes with 3 of them, and there will be more included from stretch goals. It's the big bad wolf, the hag, and the mirror in the base game.
Okay, and do you want to speak a little bit about the miniatures? What kind of quality are we going to expect from the miniatures, and how many are we going to get in the base game?
The miniatures are high quality. They are high quality. I think they are resin, if I'm not plastic and resin, if I'm not mistaken. But there will be really high quality, detailed miniatures. You can see photos of them in our page, 12remsdungeonland.com, or on our Facebook page of Mage Company and everything. And there will be the really high quality.
Yeah, I think that the presentation and the components of the final game will be in very high standards.
Yeah, for sure. Like the miniatures are all made by a very high quality studio, and they are all like uniquely sculpted and everything.
Which I would kind of expect that from Mage Company, because the other miniatures that you get in the other 12 Realms games are really well done too. So I'm assuming these will be equal or better than those. So
They're better.
Yeah,
they're better.
they're better. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I think they'll be a little better.
Yeah, they're of higher quality actually. Yeah.
And then I know that there is a dice mechanic in the game as well. You want to kind of talk about the dice mechanics and maybe just the mechanics of the game in general as well too, so we know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, actually, as Panos said previously, we really try really hard to keep the complexity and the rules in as low as possible.
Yeah, in a low level.
So the dice mechanics are pretty simple. The game features custom dice. So depending on what are you trying to accomplish, you are looking for some certain symbols on the dice that you roll. So for instance, if a character is attacking with a melee weapon, you roll the appropriate number of dice and you're trying to score some critical hits or some swords symbols, so that symbols count as successes. And depending on the number of the success, you then count the number of the success of the defending monster. And
Basically, it's like a two-phase thing. You check what weapon you are using. You roll your dice. You are looking for the appropriate symbols. Critical counts for all. No matter what you want to use, critical is always success, and it also explodes the die. So, and you like take that and you oppose it to the defense dice the opponent has rolled, if he has any defense. And the result that comes from subtracting the defense successes from the attacker successes is the damage the defender takes. Now that's the symbol for combat. For spells is where we have done something more unique, and we have gone in depth into the new system. We have developed a glyph system, as we call it, which is also going to be expanded further in expansions. Right now it's only used in Magic. Basically in spells, instead of just looking for certain successes and stuff like that, in order to cast a spell, you need to get the right combination of symbols. So basically you roll the die, and depending what combination of symbols you get, there is a different spell that you can cast.
Okay.
So for example, sword, arrow is fireball, but sword, arrow, boot, for example, is like something else is haste.
Okay, well that does sound like an interesting new mechanic for spells in a game, so I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to make it more fun than just be basically a ranged attack that we just call spell. You know, we want to be really different between them. So we made it so that spells really feel unique. Spells also, they don't have like random damage. Their damage is fixed, but you are looking for the right combination of symbols. And if you can score the right combination of symbols more than one times, for example, if a spell requires a sword and a bow, but you have two swords, two bows, you can cast empowered versions of those spells.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And this does play 1 to 4 players, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, 1 to 4 players.
And what are we looking at average game play time?
For the campaign, actually, for one scenario, the average play time is about 45 minutes for a scenario.
Yeah, to an hour.
To an hour max for a scenario. Now, the campaign is averagely around 9 scenarios. The campaign will end at about 9 scenarios, which with the story and everything is probably something close to 9 hours.
Okay.
To play through a whole campaign. Now, you can also play the Master Quest, which is basically the campaign experience and progression, but only done in 1.5 to 2 hours.
Okay, and as I said, the Kickstarter is running now. As we record this, there is 18 days to go, and you're setting at 54% of your goal, so almost there, plenty of time to make it. What are some of the stretch goals you're looking at doing?
The stretch goals, most of them are miniatures, new minions, new heroes, new bosses, and further on as we keep going, we're also going to unlock different tiles with different art. We're going to unlock new scenarios. We maybe even unlock like some big like box expansions with new campaigns and stuff like that.
Yeah, the thing is that the possibilities for the game is
are endless. Yeah.
endless,
We have spent enough material a long time.
Awesome. And I know you have talked about expansions, so that's kind of something in the back of your mind. You do plan on expanding the game further?
Yes, we do. Of course, if people like it, well, our ideas are non-stop. We plan to expand the game, like maybe even make like go more in depth with that glyph system, like also include like fighter skills where different combinations perform different skills. We have thought of a lot of stuff we can do to expand upon the game. The way it's made, this game, we strive to make like a very good base that we can expand upon.
Yeah, and also there are many different types of expansions that we can make for this game.
Yeah, like new campaigns or more mechanics or more of everything basically.
Right, as you said, the possibilities are endless. So we will definitely look forward to this getting funded, which I'm sure it will. As I said, as we record this, 18 days to go. You're at 54% of your goal. So we will keep an eye on this. Is there anything else you want to say about the game, and maybe to the people to get them to go out and pledge to let's make this happen?
Yeah. And we hope really that people really enjoy it.
Yes, we hope that people enjoy it. We would like them to try it out, give us feedback, tell us how they like it or not. And basically what we want to say to them is that we've tried to make it as fun as possible. Like for us, gaming, its number one rule is not the miniatures, it's not the gameplay. For the number one rule, it's to be fun. Basically, we want the game to feel fun. We want you to do your thoughts, do your mechanics, like get the skills, do all those mathematical things. But in the end of the day, we want you to have fun. We want you to like roll your dice, laugh about it, like have those nice moments when the dice will explode like 3 times in a row,
Right.
Goes to chaos, all that.
All right. Thank you very much. As I said, Kickstarter running now, 18 days to go. You can look down in the description of this video and this blog post over on the site where you can go over to the Kickstarter and pledge to help make 12 Realms Dungeonland happen. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to explain the game.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hey everybody, it's Draken Post. Wanted to point out that since I recorded this interview and in the process of me getting it ready for release, the Kickstarter for 12 Realms Dungeonland has been temporarily canceled. They are redoing the Kickstarter. It will restart. Mage Company says our heroes have started the battle against evil, but it seems that the Dark Forces have taken the lead. So Grumpy Dwarf, Snow White, Red Riding Hood, and the Wizard of Oz have now entered a nearby lair to regroup their forces. It seems the events that have been played out in this session and the tactical mistakes of our heroes led them into a very difficult situation. The heroes have decided to remain in their lair until May 25th, when they will again come out to battle the minions and bosses that have come to claim the lands. So the Kickstarter will resume and relaunch in 1 week on May 25th. With the relaunch of the Kickstarter, you are going to see more Kickstarter exclusives, additional new scenarios, free worldwide shipping, a lower funding goal, and more dense stretch goals. So during the course of the interview that you just listened to, I did kind of reference where they were at. That, of course, was when the project was still live and we were recording. So ignore everything I said about where they were in the Kickstarter. You will have a chance to get back in on this on May 25th. Just wanted to point that out for clarity's sake. That's why I talked about the Kickstarter, because at the time I was talking to them and recording that, it was live. But look forward to 12 Realms Dungeonland Kickstarter to resume on May 25th.